Involvement in the criminal justice system can carry lifelong impacts on the health, safety, and well-being of individuals, families, and neighborhoods. The purpose of this video is to provide an overview on the impacts criminal justice involvement can have on your life, as well as an opportunity to rethink future involvement. This video will discuss the following: crimes of moral turpitude, convictions and consequences, dismissals and expungement, support to deter criminal justice involvement.
A district attorney must always strive to do justice. Doing justice means more than just seeking a conviction and putting a notch on a belt. For this reason, we are trying to create opportunities for folks to accept responsibility and pursue rehabilitation and new opportunities in life while restoring them to compliance with the law and enforcing the law. We have a multitude of diversion programs starting with juvenile diversion and going all the way up to veterans treatment court. I want to offer these opportunities to you to ensure that we can continue to create a courthouse that is embracing justice, that is making new opportunities for folks, and striving to provide rehabilitation instead of penalties to folks in our court system. I hope that you will engage, participate, and successfully complete this program.
The diversion program is important because people deserve a second chance at life, especially young adults who have a whole life ahead of them. One bad decision should not define an individual. And programs like Diversion uplift and restore our community.
So the importance of our programs here is the ability to meet people where they're at and help them navigate through these complex systems that they need to get through. We're improving lives because we're helping people not suffer the collateral consequences that come with some of the charges that they may ensue while involved in the criminal justice system. It's important for people to come through this program because it leads them to a second opportunity at life and a better chance.
Crimes of moral turpitude refer to acts determined by a court to violate the accepted moral standards of the community. The following offenses have been considered crimes involving moral turpitude by some courts, but there is no definitive list. Perjury, tax evasion, wire fraud, carrying a concealed weapon, child abuse.
Having served as both a district attorney and a defense attorney, I know that many people don't know that once you are convicted of a crime, that conviction will stay on your record for the rest of your life. The only way to remove the conviction is to either reverse the conviction or get it expunged. Convictions do not automatically go away after 3, 10, or any other number of years. They may be considered permanent marks against your name. A criminal record is a public record and may be searched by anyone. While you don't have to confess to committing a crime, if you don't disclose it when you're applying for a job, you probably won't get that job. Successful completion of the diversion program you're eligible for will ensure that you will not suffer the direct and collateral consequences of a conviction.
In North Carolina, a conviction occurs when either a judge or jury finds you guilty. It also occurs if you plead guilty or no contest. Sometimes in North Carolina, a governmental agency will consider you convicted if you have admitted to facts where a court or jury could have found you guilty. In North Carolina, specifically in Buncombe County, we are now, along with the county, the DA's office, our Buncombe County Sheriff's Department, and the Asheville Police Department, developing a number of deferment programs where we can get citizens, mostly young people, involved in these programs and try to let them avoid the long-term consequences that sometimes these convictions bring. This will allow them to come in. They don't have to plead guilty. Generally, they do some type of community service. Sometimes we associate them with other agencies that they might need, like anger management, drug programs, and that sort of thing.
Collateral consequences are the indirect consequences that flow from criminal convictions other than jail, probation, and court fines and fees. Over the past several decades, collateral consequences have increased in variety and severity. Collateral consequences are separate from the criminal court process and aren't ordered by a judge. Defendants often plead guilty without ever knowing about them.
Rental housing, public housing, foster care, adoption,
Jury duty, public office, financial aid.
Public employment, private employment, immigration status.
Driver's license, hunting license, occupational licensure.
Voting, military service, firearm possession.
An example of a collateral consequence is voting. You can still vote while awaiting trial for a felony or a misdemeanor. For a misdemeanor conviction in North Carolina, you can still vote even while serving a misdemeanor sentence. For a felony conviction in North Carolina, however, you temporarily lose your citizenship rights, including the right to vote. Any attempt to register to vote while you are an active felon is a felony. After completing all the terms of your sentence, including post-release supervision and probation, you do not have to do anything to have your citizenship rights restored. Those rights are automatically restored under North Carolina General Statute 13-1.
Another example of a collateral consequence is connected to drug-related offenses. For example, simple possession of marijuana. If you plead guilty to the charge, you'd be considered convicted. Your record will reflect a conviction. The U.S. Army deems a conviction of marijuana possession to be a serious offense and may deny your enlistment to service. A secondary collateral consequence could be immigration status. If you're residing in the United States of America and you're not a U.S. citizen, certain criminal convictions could result in negative consequences with respect to your immigration status. Some of these would include things like deportation from the United States, refusal of admission back into the United States after temporary foreign travel. An additional immigration consequence could be the denial of an application for naturalization.
Collateral consequences can affect your education status as well. For example, regarding student loan availability, you cannot receive Pell Grants or federal student loans while incarcerated. Generally, if you're convicted of a drug-related felony or misdemeanor that took place while you were receiving federal student aid, you are ineligible for further aid for a period of time. However, if you were not convicted at a time when you were not receiving federal student aid, those limitations do not apply. Having heard a lot of information about collateral consequences, it may be difficult or confusing to know what applies specifically to you and your circumstances. The UNC School of Government offers a free online tool called CCAT, or the Collateral Consequences Assessment Tool. North Carolina statutes and regulations require or authorize a wide variety of collateral consequences and civil disabilities when a person is convicted of a crime. CCAT centralizes information about collateral consequences imposed under North Carolina law for a criminal conviction and helps affected individuals understand more accurately and completely about the impact of a conviction on their lives. You can find the CCAT tool at ccat.sog.unc.edu. And remember, any online tool can be confusing or even overwhelming the first time you use it, so don't hesitate to contact the Buncombe County Justice Resource Center to help you through that process.
In the Adult Misdemeanor Diversion Service, we provide a voluntary and supportive structure for people to avoid criminal prosecution while gaining skills and connecting to meaningful resources. Based on charges and criminal history, individuals may participate in diversion services as an alternative to prosecution. Successful completion of program conditions will result in a voluntary dismissal of criminal charges by the Office of the District Attorney and avoidance of collateral consequences.
In North Carolina, an expunction, also known as an expungement, is the legal process of erasing a criminal record by court order, and it restores a person to the status occupied before the criminal record existed. Most people do not recognize that even when a charge is dismissed in the state of North Carolina, that charge will still appear on your criminal record. As such, an expunction is the only option an individual may have to remove that charge or conviction from their criminal record in order to increase their employment opportunities, housing opportunities, opportunities for benefits, in addition to education. Expunction laws in North Carolina are statute-specific, complex, and are generally categorized in the following ways. 1, a first-time conviction for a nonviolent misdemeanor offense occurring more than 5 years ago. 2, a first-time conviction for a nonviolent felony offense occurring more than 10 years ago. 3, a first-time conviction for certain offenses committed before the ages of 18 and 22. And 4, a charge that is dismissed or there is a finding of not guilty. While an expunction erases the official state record once granted by court order, information regarding the charges may be available via private databases. The filing fee for an expunction ranges from $0 to $175, and a person may file a petition of indigency to waive the cost associated with filing.
The goal of the Justice Resource Center is to deter future criminal justice involvement by engaging folks in evidence-based models that motivate change, develop healthy coping and lifestyle skills, and learn how to change risky behaviors. The Justice Resource Center is here to connect individuals to community services such as transportation, mental health and substance abuse treatment, and legal support, such as expunction. Please take this opportunity to learn and reflect on the actions that may have led you here. Use this resource to prevent you from coming back into the criminal justice system. Engage in this diversion program and know that this is a rare opportunity to have a case dismissed and expunged.
A criminal conviction will follow you for the rest of your life. A stupid mistake or a simple mistake that you make when you're young can affect you all the way up until you're 70 or 80 years old. Enrolling in and completing this diversion program can have a huge impact on your life if you successfully complete this program. Don't let a mistake follow you for the rest of your life.
Following through with this program is important because our participants have the opportunity to challenge themselves a little bit. Sometimes when we present the requirements, it can be a little overwhelming, but they have the opportunity to really challenge themselves and see what they can accomplish so that they can go on to meet those other goals such as education, employment, and then they actually get like the biggest prize at the end with their case dismissed. And the feedback that we're getting from a lot of our participants is like, wow, I'm so glad I actually did this, because they do get to see the benefit at the end of their case dismissal and then the expungement.